Right, so this is me on my new MacBook. Ta-da! I was going to blog about West End Live and the shows that I saw that weekend, and then I discovered that I could actually just record myself and save myself the bother of typing, which is new and different, so probably won't be any less boring if you don't have any interest in musicals and stuff, so sorry. But you get to see me move about a little bit, so that's fun. Yeah, I want to run down West End Live a little bit later on because I just want to spend some time talking about the shows that I saw over the weekend and some of the other stuff that I did. So Saturday, after West End Live, when I'd lost the ability to walk because I'd stood in the same spot for like 8 hours, I went to go get Five Guys because I love Five Guys. Like, that was incredible. Loved that. The second thing I did after I left Trafalgar Square was to go and see a show, Young Frankenstein, which I honestly cried laughing at. It's the funniest thing I have ever seen in all of my life on stage. Like, I love the film, and if you love the film, the musical is for you because it is just exactly like it. It has all the jokes that you want. It has all the, rolling the hair. It has all the werewolf, and what hump. It has all the lines that you're expecting, and everybody goes mad when they hear them because they really are like, eyes peeled for them. But it has also got a load of new jokes and a load of funny little nuances in the songs and comedy numbers and stuff like that in there. It's going to close soon, and then it's going to go on tour, which I'm definitely going to go see it when it goes on tour because I have never enjoyed an entire show beginning to end with laughter like this. I really wanted to go see it because I love the film. I also wanted to go see it because I love Hadley Fraser. Like, if you are familiar with the 25th anniversary of Phantom of the Opera at the Royal Albert Hall, he's Raoul, and as we all know, I love Raoul. He's like my favourite fictional character of all time. But also Hadley was my first ever Javert when I went to see Les Mis like 6 years ago on my own, sobbing in the stalls because, I'm just that cool. And so he blew me away then, so I really wanted to go see him something else, and the fact that it was Young Frankenstein was just spectacular. Also, Leslie Joseph, wow. She is, to, kind of, not to dwell on the subject, but slightly more mature performer, shall we say. She was throwing herself on the floor, crawling around, jumping over chairs, singing, dancing, amazing acting, just generally being hilarious. I loved the fact that at the finale, when the bows, she was the first person that everybody got on their feet for. People were like clapping and going crackers for some of the other performers, but when she came out, everybody went mad, and I loved that. She played Frau Blucher. Nay! Little joke from the show. If you're not familiar with it, you probably just think that I've lost it. But yeah, she was in it more than I felt the character was in the film, but I loved it because she just had like a dry comment for everything. That was kind of the beauty of her. She was just like sarcastic and droll and deadpan, and it just worked so well because the guy playing Igor, or Igor, depending what number we're on in the film and in the songs in the show, he was hysterical, like throwing himself about the stage. He did all the good stuff that you want to see an Igor do from the film. When they're moving along the heads and it's like 6 months old, 6 years, like fresh, and he's singing. That was in there. That made me laugh. Putting on the Ritz, spectacular. How the guy playing the monster managed to dance about and jump about and run through the audience at one point as well, which terrified me. How he managed to do all that while I presume he's on stilts because he was like 8 feet tall. I don't know because I can't walk in heels. So how you do that, I just cannot begin to explain to you. But when he did Putting on the Ritz, the first time he said the line, the whole entire auditorium went insane. There was like 40 seconds of just cheering and clapping and laughing and whooping, and they had to just stand there like while we all went crazy, which I really loved because it just kind of made me feel like, everybody in this room is a Young Frankenstein fan. Everybody in this room is like a film geek who loves this. There was a lot of people on their own as well, which I quite enjoyed because I just thought, well, I'm in my own and I'm a young Frankenstein and musicals nerd, so there's more people like me out there. Yay! Um, also, another thing I'm a big fan of is a quick change. There was a quick change in the finale. The same guy was playing the hermit as played the captain, the guy who has like one arm. He was incredible, and this is him. So he came out in the finale like this, took the hat off, the beard fell out of the hat and onto his face, and then he like pulled this down, so he ended up in like the Hessian sack. Like, if you imagine a human Topsy doll, that is what he did. Like, that just like blew my socks off. I love a quick change act. I love a musical. To have a quick change act in a musical is like someone got inside my brain and did a show for me. So yeah, really, really loved that. If you do not get the chance to see it while it is in London, go see it while it is on tour, because you will just laugh your head off. Like, if I'd have had socks on that day, they would have been laughed off. But as it happens, I didn't, so, you know, whatever. The other show that I went to see while I was there was Bat Out of Hell, which had some of the like most amazing effects I've ever seen on stage. There's a bit in the programme where Jim Steinman talks about how it was always supposed to be a musical, the album Bat Out of Hell, because it's quite theatrical. If you've ever listened to the songs, they go on for like 58 minutes. Slight exaggeration, but they do go on for a long time, and they are really huge numbers that tell a story if you piece them together, and it was supposed to be this story. So the fact that it's now a musical like he wanted is quite cool. There's also a bit where Meatloaf says in the programme that he told the actors that they just have to get into the songs and really go for it, and just not kind of think, oh god, these are weird lyrics, or this is obscure, or this is too big. You just kind of got to roll with it, or else it doesn't make any sense. And as an audience member, you've kind of got to do a little bit the same. Like, there was some bits in it where they took the bits of dialogue at the beginning of the songs and just using as dialogue, which is fair enough. It's not Shakespeare, let's be fair. And if you kind of stop for a minute to think, what are they actually saying, rather than they're just performing the musical as per written in the concept album, you would think, this is insane, this is crazy. But then they start singing and you're just like there's some of the people in there. Christina Bennington, like, looks like she must be about 8 stone wet through, and she can just belt like no tomorrow. I don't know where that voice comes from out of that person. She was amazing. Jordan Luke Gage as Strat is the alternate, and I can't imagine that anyone would ever have an issue with understudies and covers, but people do, and I just think, go see him singing Bat Out of Hell and, you know, getting fake blood all over himself and throwing himself on the floor and just generally giving it the amount of welly that he gave. That kid was sweating, okay? And, like, I can't blame him, because the amount he was throwing himself about was just insane. He was incredible. Like, I'd seen the main guy, if you like, at West End Live on the Saturday and the previous year, and I'd been a huge fan of him. I'd really, really loved him. I did not think about him the entire time I was in that theatre, because I was just so swept up in how amazing this kid was. Like, incredible. You can't argue with a performance like that. You just can't. The effects also, insane, blew my mind, okay? There's a bit in Bat Out of Hell, the song, where the motorbike kind of goes into pieces. There's like little bits of cogs and wheel and gears and technical things going on up in the air, and then like silver glitter cannons shoot into the audience. So I got covered in silver glitter because I was row 4, which played havoc with my hearing for the following day, incidentally. But yeah, I got shot with that. When he slapped himself and the fake blood came, I got shot with red confetti. There was, and I kind of feel weird saying this out loud because it sounds insane, but 3 bats flew over my head. Giant bats with red eyes. And I don't properly understand how that happened, because there were no bats there. They just came out of nowhere and flew over the audience's heads. So that was cool. So if anybody knows how that happened, please do tell me, because I'm still trying to figure out how the Phantom disappears into the chair at the end of Phantom of the Opera, and that's been 30 years, okay? So yeah, if you know that, please speak up. But yeah, that was just insane. And it kind of goes to show that you don't need to have CGI and big effects and crazy things going on. You can just have something so simple like shooting an audience with like ticker tape, and we love it. So more of that, please. But yeah, that was incredible. Definitely recommend that you go see both of those shows, especially if you like the film, and especially if you like Battle of Hell as an album, a concept, as a song, or whatever. Because at the end, when everyone was up on the feet, giving it some welly for "I'd do anything for love," that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Deafening, but cool. Another thing that I did was I was supposed to go to Westminster Abbey. There's a part of Westminster Abbey that has never been opened to the public, and they've opened it this year. So off I pulled down, little history geek as I am, and I got there and they were like, yes, a 3 hour wait time. No, I'm not doing that. So I sacked that idea off, so I kind of need to go back to London and do that on a day when it's potentially quieter. Because I'd queued for like 3 hours on the Saturday to get into West End Live. I'd queued for like 3 hours on the Sunday to get into West End Live. Another day of a 3 hour queue. I'm not mentally prepared for that. I needed to get my brain in gear. So I sacked that off. And went to the Supreme Court instead, which is really, really interesting. Kind of niche, I guess, if you want to learn about the British judicial system. But, you know, if you like that sort of thing, go down. I also was the first person through the doors at the Natural History Museum on Tuesday morning, which, if you've never been to the Natural History Museum, the main entrance is stunning. It's like walking into a cathedral, okay? It's huge. I love the fact that this building was purpose-built as a museum to just show off and educate stuff to the masses as a free museum. That kind of blows my mind a little bit that something so huge and grand was designed in that way. So when everyone was queuing outside on the road, I am not going to lie, I was eyeing up my opponents for the front slot. Lots of families with prams, they're quite easy to take. I was quite swift up the path with them, you know, incline, wheels, nah, got this. Walking through that door and it just being like me and a couple of, you know, museum staff, on the sun shining through the windows that kind of a day, the giant whale above your head, nobody else around, and just this absolute, you know, kind of place of worship for geeks and whatever was just incredible. Took some amazing photos, because the first thing I did was peg it up the steps as fast as I could to get myself to the highest point to like take a photo down. If you want to get up to the giant sequoia at that time of day, that is the best time of day to see anything. You can just view the whole museum or that hall. That was insane. Really, really enjoyed that. So yeah, to summarise, run like hell when you get to the Natural History Museum. It is worth it. Go see Battle of Hell, but take earplugs if you are of a nervous disposition. And go see Young Frankenstein if you want to have a laugh but don't wear too much makeup, because my eyeliner was down my chin because I cried laughing. So take this as a warning, but go do these 3 things. Oh, and get up really, really early if you want to go to Westminster Abbey, because, or just take a picnic. Take a picnic so you're prepared for the long haul. But learn from my mistakes, people.